What's up, you guys? TJ back here today, and I have finally been able to comply my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. Boy, I thought top 10 favorite current wrestlers was hard. This was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was insanely difficult. And just keep in mind, these are my opinion. These are more guys that I've watched. So you won't see Stone Cold Stone Cold is. You won't see Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Macho Man. Those are all really great. I just haven't really got to see as much of them as I would like to, so I'm going to focus more on guys that I've seen more of. So keep that in mind when you're watching this. These are my top 10 favorites. Why don't you comment your favorites down below? And let's get right into it. Number 10 is AJ Lee. She's my favorite women's wrestler of all time. She was great on the mic and in the ring, and she could wrestle pretty much anyone. She was longest reigning Divas champion, still should be. They only put Nikki Bella on that to cover up AJ, of course, because she's married to CM Punk. Oh well. Number 9 is the 9-time tag team champions, the Dudley Boys. They should be 10-time tag team champions. It's honestly a shame that WWE didn't keep them around and make them win the belts from the New Day. I would have been happy with that. And they're one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tag team of all time. I love their TLC matches. The 3D is an amazing finisher, and they should have had so much more in their last round. Number 8 is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he's hilarious. I mean, what? What? Stone Cold's gonna have a beer. What? Stone Cold's gonna have a vodka. What? Whiskey. What? Hell, Stone Cold might have a pina colada. What? It's just hilarious. And flipping off Vince McMahon, stunning everybody in sight. He's had some great matches. I got to see him a lot in WWE 2K7 or 16 with my career, so I went back and watched a lot of him, and he's just so funny. Driving in a beer truck, a Zamboni, an ATV, whatever he wants, a cement mixer. It was awesome. Number 7, and in a few years, he honestly could be number 1. He's currently on the WWE roster, and that is AJ Styles. I have gone back and watched a lot of his wrestling, and he is amazing. He's great on the mic, amazing in the ring, if not probably the best professional wrestler in the world at the moment. And maybe he does go up a bit in the rankings, and maybe up to top 5. Hell, maybe even he'll be the number 1. So we'll see. And number 6 is Triple H. This is the guy that got me into wrestling, to be honest. I started watching right before WrestleMania 27, and if you're a wrestling fan, you know that was probably the worst, if not one of the worst, WrestleManias of all time. What kept me hooked was Triple H and The Undertaker, who will be later on this list, obviously. But Triple H, the game, he's had some great rivalries with guys like Austin, Brock wasn't that good, I mean. Undertaker. I love his matches with Undertaker. Those are some of my favorites of all time. I honestly wouldn't have been that mad if he ended the streak in Hell in a Cell, or if both of them retired at Hell in a Cell. It was just such a good match. And number 5, the best in the world, CM Punk. And I mean, he is what he calls himself. He's the best in the world. He's one of the best talkers, brawlers, wrestlers, straight up fighters. I wish he did better in UFC, but we're focusing on WWE, where he had the record-setting WWE Championship reign, and he had great feuds. He even put on a 5-star match with John Cena, the first 5-star match in years from Dave Meltzer, and that was at Money in the Bank 2011. If you haven't seen that match, you have to watch it. It's one of the best matches of the PG era. Number 4 is the Rated R Superstar Edge, and another guy who I'd seen quite a bit of before I started watching wrestling, and he kind of kept me hooked for a little while, but, right when I started watching, maybe a couple weeks in, Edge retired, which I was really upset about. I mean, he should have been there a lot longer. He's got, I think it's the most title reigns for a single superstar. I think Edge holds that record still to this day, which is insane. He was a great heel, great babyface, probably one of the best heels of all time, if I do say so myself. Now we're into the top 3. Number 3 is Daniel Bryan. I mean, WrestleMania 30, a lot of people like X7. I haven't really got to see the whole part of it yet, but for me, WrestleMania 30 is probably my favorite WrestleMania that I've seen the full show of. And Daniel, that was an amazing storytelling by WWE. they couldn't have done that better. Maybe taking Batista out of the mix, but still. Daniel Bryan, wow. He should still be wrestling today. Unfortunately, WWE won't let him wrestle. It also has concussion issues. But I still remember, where do I have that poster? Right there. Daniel Bryan at the end of WrestleMania 30 with the 2 belts, doing the yes chant, almost crying, and the confetti and the fireworks. It was so awesome. And I was so glad. That was an amazing WrestleMania, and that just capped it off. Number 2 is Chris Jericho. I mean, you gotta expect him to be on this list. He's hilarious. He's great in the ring. He can still put on a match today with most guys. I mean, his matches with Styles, his Jericho, don't even get me started about that. And stupid idiot, and all his catchphrases. And then you can go back and you see all his work with Austin. The WCW Cruiserweight division. He took that off with his list of, I think it was 1,004 holds. That was great. And number 1, who else could it be but the Phenom, The Undertaker. Got a few posters up of him. He's, in my opinion, the greatest wrestler of all time. Nobody lives the gimmick like The Undertaker. The dead man. He went from, they gave him a terrible gimmick at the start and just told him to go with it. And he took that gimmick and made it to probably the best storytelling in the whole WWE history. And the longest, best storyline ever, The Streak. I mean, he has given it all to the business. Undertaker, Mark Calloway. I was so happy I got to see him live for the first time this year at WrestleMania. And if he retires, honestly, I'll be upset, but I won't be crushed because he's given us so much, and he's just so good. I'm like, look at his matches with Shawn Michaels, Triple H. He could put on a good match with anyone. CM Punk, that was a great one. And The Undertaker has to be number 1. So, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, comment yours down below. Also, please like this video and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.